use that way, it'll be seen. Hi, Albert has volunteered for this segment. Again, Albert never learned not to volunteer for anything. We're going to talk about key manipulation and ways to interfere with your opponent's key. We're going to use this off of a grab. It can be used off of a punch and a number of techniques, but this is a fairly commonly seen technique, and so we're going to kind of talk about this. One way to interfere with his key energy, or his strength, if you want to call it that, is to reverse his meridian. We talked about this in a previous segment, and there, if you go up and down the arm meridian, you have wood and metal. If we reverse wood over metal, okay, into this position, all right, then that will offset it. It changes his balance, it changes position. You're actually internally rotating his joints, okay. The other way of doing this is to reverse the key meridians and put metal over wood. This is a lot more painful. It's a lot more powerful technique, but you can use key rotation as a way of interrupting. So first thing, he grabs you, okay? We're going to reverse his key. Now, one error, and it's a lot of times it's really hard to see this on videos, and I've seen this taught in other schools and videos. The grip, it's not just grabbing the wrist that's important, and especially don't grab the wrist itself, because you're not wearing a Burt Reynolds Deliverance armband here. You're not protecting the wrist. We want to use that wrist. So what you do when you grab this is try to apply the principle of injection, which is the second technique. And what you're doing is, right in that web, there's a pressure point. And so as he grabs and we come in, try to dig your finger into that web and then reverse. Now, that grip, you can see by his expression, hurts a lot more than simply rotating. So you're combining pressure point injection with reversing the key. So we have injection, reversing the key. When you do a pressure point technique, for instance, if you want to hit the pressure point that's at the base of the triangle at the shoulder, it's not a straight-in technique. Pressure point manipulation is always better if you go in at a 45-degree angle, either upward or downward. Why? Because you're crossing the key energy lines. So it always hurts more to do that than it does to just go straight in. So when you come in with this key grip, you're going to try to grab that web, and you're going to direct it at a 45-degree angle up towards the points in the middle of the bones of his hand. You're then going to inject. Now that's going to set this whole lineup here in, it's going to just energize that whole wire. I mean, think of the flickering Christmas tree lights. Now the next way that you can interfere with his key is called crossing the key, or raking. And that's simply a sideways movement. And now look at your opponent. You can do a lot of things from this position. You can then reverse him, etc., etc. So we're just going to go over the technique. So rather than muscling him over with strength and trying to force this over and then trying to hit this thing into position, that's not what Hapkido is about. Hapkido is a soft and hard art. It's soft on defense and it's hard in offense. So when someone grabs you, you interfere with his key, roll it over. There's no effort on my part. You look at the shoulder muscles, there's none of this strength. And then from here, you cross. The next technique is compression. So whenever you see this done wrong, you see it out here, and you see people doing this. Okay? You want this hand, when you rotate it, to come on to this. I've actually seen practitioners that do it with just simple leaning forward chest movements, and then do this. Okay? So compression. Okay? So he grabs. Injection. Rotating the key. Raking the key. Okay? Now, you can also, again, inject. And that will hurt, believe me. Compressing the key. Step back if you have to. Right? Or, and you're going to go right down to the floor with this, I'm raking and I'm extending the key. And so you can actually get him right down to the ground with this. So, if you combine this as one movement with a pain compliance technique, so he's up here, he's got you, you just simply take his mind off it, and now we're down to the ground. So you have the aspects of injection, rotating the meridian, compression, extension, and injection. An injection would be like jamming that particular one. So compression can be simply, right, you've got him in here, you've got it, you simply can compress that. Or you can hit it with a knuckle, or you can hit it with a knuckle finger and inject on that point. So those are the main 5 ways that you can interfere with it. In other practical usage, any of you who've seen John Border's great video on finger locks or are familiar with Wally J's small circle jiu-jitsu techniques, the finger technique, someone comes at you with an open hand to kind of grab you. If you grab that finger and you simply bend it, he's going to defend by coming forward. He might be a martial artist. He might even hit you in the solar plexus, rem 5 with that elbow of his. Or he'll just try to get out of it. If, on the other hand, when you grab, right, you can do it off of this or you can do it off one of these guys that's threatening you. If you simply grab the finger and just bend it, it might, if you do it quick enough, you might break it. But if you compress it, now look at it, right? How do I compress? I just block it, and when I push down and in, it hurts more. Okay? I can then reverse the key, the meridian, go upside down. Okay? I can inject, which we just did, compressing and injection, and I can vibrate or rake it down in. And when he tries to change directions, I simply rotate the key. So it has applications on almost any time technique. He grabs you. Same thing. You grab your finger, right? You get out, grab a finger, and now you're into this same theory, rotating, injecting, compressing. And those are the ways I can manipulate his ki. There are strikes in this area. Again, if I simply slap him on the side of the head, he doesn't like it very much. If, on the other hand, I hit the pressure point right here and right here, simultaneously compressing them up at an angle, watch the difference between squeezing the neck. Okay, I'm putting force in there. He's putting his hands on there because he knows it hurts. Now, just the thumbs right on either side, up and in at a 45-degree angle. Okay, tap out if it hurts. You may not be able to talk at this point. Okay, so if somebody comes in is trying to strangle you, or in here, all you have to do if you want to come in the inside is put your thumbs there and just shove. A lot better than trying all these fancy, whatever. If that doesn't work, you can put your finger in here and again inject at a 45-degree angle downward. Gee, not a lot of strength, not a lot of sophistication, but you've manipulated his ki energy. You've taken away his breathing points. You've taken away his cerebral blood flow. You've taken away his arm, right? And that's the principle of Hapkido, manipulating your opponent's ki, his opponent's internal energy, your opponent's strength. Thank you.